Oh, like it's any surprise I'm a Ravenclaw. So like any other completely normal average person that made their own Ravenclaw robes, I have a lot of thoughts about Harry Potter. This is just the first of many. To start with, I thought I'd go with one of the most repugnant characters in Harry Potter. Not her. Not her. Or the rest of them. I actually really like him. Not him. Oh, we'll be getting to him. Yes, we have a winner. Of course, I am talking about Albus Dumbledore.
That is one of my more brilliant ideas.
Okay, before anybody gets on to me for the Dumble hate, I think he's a fascinating character. I just think he's a horrible, horrible person. Why do I think he's a horrible person? Oh man, this is only supposed to be a 10-minute video. Okay, warning you now, Dumbledore's gonna come up again at some point. But everything has to start somewhere. So we're gonna go back to the beginning. All the way back to book 1. Okay, and just to preface this, I'm not talking about Dumbledore screwing over the Slytherins just because he likes to be a drama llama. I'm talking about the entire plot of the book. Let's look at things from Dumbledore's perspective. He's protecting the stone for Nicholas Flamel because... Wait, why is he protecting it for Flamel? This is something that's actually not addressed in either the book or the movie. When did the stone pass into Dumbledore's care? How long has it been in that vault at Gringotts? Why is Dumbledore moving it into protection at Hogwarts now? There is no indication in either the book or the movie that there's been any threat made on the stone before Quirrell tries to steal it from the Gringotts vaults. Dumbledore's moving it anyways. So, why is he doing it? Yes, there's a threat, but the threat only becomes known after he's put all of these protections into place. Yeah, this is definitely something I'm going to circle back on later. So Dumbledore is going to protect the stone. This is a huge, important job that needs the utmost care. So he sends an undertrained dropout without a working wand to pick it up as a side errand while he's taking a kid shopping for school supplies. Both the protection of the stone and the protection of Harry are important tasks. So why split Hagrid's focus? Traditionally, McGonagall was sent to the houses of Muggleborns in order to tell them about Hogwarts, and I think she might have even taken them to Diagon Alley. So why is Hagrid in charge of both looking after Harry and getting the stone? Unless, perhaps Dumbledore wanted Harry to be curious about the stone. Kids are curious little jerks. So what's going to happen when you say, "Don't wonder about this mysterious package that I've picked up for the headmaster"? The stone is brought to Hogwarts because when I think protection, I think a school with 1,000 kids, a former wizard Nazi as a professor, a position in school that's been cursed since the 70s to have a high turnover rate, not to mention a not inconsequential number of students that had parents that were also wizard Nazis. But the stone has protections. And what are the protections on the stone? When it comes down to it, there's actually only one protection, and that's the Mirror of Erised. For protection to be, well, protective, it has to stop anybody with any malice from getting to it, which the mirror does. Anyone who wants to use the stone isn't able to reach it. Everything else along the way isn't really a protection. It's an obstacle. Anyone with enough skill or knowledge can get past what the teachers have set up. A group of 11-year-olds are able to do it. It's almost as if they were set up specifically as obstacles, and Harry and his friends were given the tools and knowledge to get past them. The first obstacle guarding the stone is actually the first one Harry and his friends come across, and that's Fluffy the dog. We find out very quickly it's not much of an obstacle, because just playing some music, puts him to sleep. And isn't it funny, the very person who has set up Fluffy as protection is the same person who gave Harry a flute for Christmas? And he's also the person that would do whatever Dumbledore would tell him without any question? We've also got the flying keys and the broom. Well, it's a big coincidence you've made Harry the only exception to the first year's can't own brooms rule, and you've trained him for an entire year to search for small objects while flying on a broom. We've got Wizard's Chess, the game that the boy that Harry has been practically inseparable from since he arrived at school is really, really good at. Not to mention, at the Christmas feast in the book, Harry receives a wizard chess set in his Christmas cracker, a Christmas cracker that was given to him by the house elves who work at Hogwarts. In the book, not the movie though, the gang does not have to take care of the troll because it's already been knocked out, but it's something they could have handled readily because they already did that once that year. It's super funny how that works out. Then there's the logic puzzle. No magic involved, a simple logic puzzle. One suitable for the cleverest witch of her age. Oh, I'm missing one? What about the devil's snare? That one's actually interesting. It's by blind luck that Harry and his friends are actually able to get past this obstacle. It's one of the few times they're in any actual danger. It's almost as if there should have been a fourth person with them. Someone with an aptitude for herbology that he will eventually teach on the professional level. Someone whose family was at one time close to Harry's. Someone who was with Harry and his friends when they discovered Fluffy.
I'll fight you!
Yes! It's Neville Longbottom, the boy who could have been. Dumbledore thought the trio was actually going to be a quartet, and that Neville would have been there to defeat the Devil's Snare. But what about the attempt at Halloween? Quirrell's been going after the stone for a long time. That's why he let the Mountain Troll in at Halloween. That's before Hermione has become part of the group, before Harry has learned much about flying, before he's gotten his flute and chess set. So how can actually everything be set up for Harry's benefit? Well, the stone wasn't being guarded by Fluffy at Halloween. The ultimate protection of the stone is the Mirror of Erised. That wasn't put into place until after Christmas, when Harry and his friends had every single bit of knowledge and tools that they needed to get past the stone's protections. They even have an invisibility cloak by then, which isn't necessary, but certainly helps out. And where'd they get that invisibility cloak again?
Back again, Harry?
Everything about what happens in Philosopher's Stone is Dumbledore's machinations. But that brings up the ultimate question. Why? Why is all of this put into place? Why are Harry and his friends given the knowledge to get past the obstacles to the stone? The stone isn't being protected at Hogwarts. It's the bait in a trap. Dumbledore knows that Voldemort exists somewhere, in one form or another. He just needs to find the magical means to bring himself back. The stone is one of the few things that fits the bill. Dumbledore lets a young and impressionable teacher go off into one of the few areas where Voldemort is known to hang out. A teacher he trusts to put a troll in as an obstacle to protect the stone. A teacher he's willing to promote to a position he knows to be cursed and will only last for a year. I'm not saying Dumbledore set up Quirrell to die, but he totally set up Quirrell to die. So I know what you're thinking. Whoa, MC, do you really think Dumbledore's that evil? No, I don't. I think he's a terrible person, but he's not evil. He's a general, and he's one that's been at war for a very, very, very long time. Voldemort's been a shadow hanging over the wizarding world since the 40s. Even after he was supposedly defeated, Dumbledore knew it was only a matter of time before he returned, because Dumbledore was one of the few people who knew that the only way for Voldemort to truly die was for a boy to die along with him. A boy who was finally coming into Dumbledore's care again. In times of desperation, Dumbledore's often fallen back on child soldiers. Just look at the Order of the Phoenix. A lot of the members of the original group were former students of his, who were only in their early 20s when Voldemort was defeated. Dumbledore was forced to wait 10 years before he could finally enact a plan to defeat Voldemort for good. When he had the opportunity, he took it. He set up an enticing way for Voldemort to get his power back. Then he gave the only person capable of finally defeating Voldemort the means to get into the same place as Voldemort. He was trying to force a final confrontation, hoping that this time Voldemort would actually be killed, even if Harry was sacrificed in the process. Not only is Dumbledore trying to eliminate the threat of Voldemort, but he's trying to get things done as soon as possible, because he's scared that he's not going to be able to go through with it later. Dumbledore knows that Harry has to die by trying to force it in Harry's first year. Dumbledore is trying to limit the amount of time that he actually spends with Harry, so he doesn't become attached. When he was a teenager, Dumbledore fell under the sway of Grindelwald, and they lived by the motto, for the greater good. While Dumbledore eventually rejected most of Grindelwald's teachings, deep down, he still believed in the idea of the greater good. He knows that Voldemort needed to be killed, and he was willing to sacrifice an 11-year-old to do it. So that's just one of the reasons why I dislike Dumbledore. Fascinating as a character, but man, what a jerk. So that's this week's video. Like, comment, and subscribe to tell me all the things you feel about this video, and I'm sure there are people who feel a lot of things. Check out MCC's Return to the Hellmouth and the Trash Compactor podcast, and we'll see you guys next time. Skywalker. Hi. This is Skywalker, and he's being a butt. I'm recording a show, dude.